Good morning, everybody. It's your boy Zoe, here to give you a macro video. So with me today, I have my friend, my workout partner, and co-worker, Daniel Hathaway. He's a personal trainer, and he has a degree in
exercise physiology and biomechanical kinesiology.
Awesome.
Basically how the body moves.
Okay, all right. So I got him today because he is the science behind all of my bro science that I've been giving you lately. So we're gonna give you some facts, we're gonna give you some hard numbers today, and we're gonna teach you how to burn calories more efficiently.
Really how the body is going to function with the calories you got in it. Basically how your body burns calories on a daily basis without really even doing anything.
Okay, cool. I'm down for not doing anything. Burn calories. All right, so you just want to jump right into it?
Yeah, that's fine. One of the big things that you always want to try to calculate before you start any kind of exercise workout program is what your BMR is. Now what that is your basal metabolic rate. So basically while you're just standing around doing nothing, sleeping, if you didn't work out for that day, what your body burns and what it needs to sustain what you have muscle-wise. Okay. So the big things you always want to focus on are your macros, obviously.
All right. And what is a macro? So I hear people throwing that word around, and I think macaroni and cheese.
Which is good. But so macros are your three big molecules that your body takes in and uses as an energy source.
Okay.
So protein, carbs, and fats.
Got that.
So those are your three big macros, and those are the ones you always want to calculate in with your BMR when you do it.
Okay.
Now, forgive me, it's been a few years since I've done a BMR, so I had to jot it all down on a calculation.
All right. We want information. You are the information guy. I'm just out here talking and sweating and lifting weights.
So there's three things you need to calculate your BMR. One's your age, two is your weight, and three is going to be your height. So first thing you want to do, age times 5. Okay? So you take that number, jot it down. You're going to take your weight, convert it into kilograms. Now the way you convert it into kilograms is divide by 2.2. It's going to give you your kilograms.
2.2. All right.
So you make it into kilograms, multiply it by 10, write that number down. Last thing you want to do is you want to take your height and convert it into centimeters. Now, I'm a little iffy on my conversion from inches to centimeters.
I'm sure you can pull the phone out and plug that in.
Just type it onto Google, it'll pop up. But you're going to take that and you're going to multiply it by a constant of 6.25.
Okay.
Jot that number down. So after we do that, you want to take those final numbers. You want to take your weight and your height and you add them together. All right, so that's going to give you a raw number, right? Then you're going to take that age that you multiplied by 5 and subtract it from that raw number you get.
Okay.
What's going to spit out is your basal metabolic rate. That's what your body burns roughly on a daily basis from sitting around.
Okay.
If you just sat on the sofa and stared at the ceiling and fell asleep, that's what your body's going to burn.
Okay. I know I'm asleep on my side, but that's same difference.
Either or. Okay. Still burning the same calories.
Okay.
One of the big things is also how much muscle you have. So obviously, as males, we have more muscle mass, right? So we're going to burn more calories just sitting around doing nothing. Women are obviously going to burn less.
So what you're saying is when I'm sitting on the couch playing PlayStation, I'm doing something. So take it easy on me. I'm burning calories. I'm trying to get my KD up. I'm burning calories. Honey, I'm talking to you.
So basically, for every 10 pounds of muscle you gain, your body is going to burn 1 pound of fat per week just from sitting around.
You said it one more time?
For every 10 pounds of muscle that you gain,
Okay.
your body will burn 1 pound of fat, 3,500 calories per week just from sitting around.
Okay.
It's a pretty impressive thing. Okay.
But it also goes against what you're putting into your system as well now. You can't just sit around, not do anything, and eat what you want to eat.
Correct. And that's where your macros come in that we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So one of the big things that you always want to look at, so based on that metabolic rate, that BMR, you want to calculate your three major macros. Okay. So with protein, we're looking at around 45% of that number. Okay. So we calculated yours and we got 1811. Okay? Now, obviously that's give or take a little bit because of your muscle mass. Okay? But if we look at 45% of protein, that means 815 calories of that 1,811 has to be protein. Okay? So you're looking at around 204 grams of protein.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of protein. It is.
Yeah.
But that protein is going to help you burn fat. Okay? Because a big molecule, the body has to work to break that down, and it helps with development of muscle, protein synthesis, things like that. Next one we're going to look at is 35% of that should be fats. Now, I'm not talking grease fats. I'm talking good fats, things like avocados, nuts. You know, those types of fats are what we want to put in our body, because what that does is it helps our metabolism, and it also helps with muscle development. A lot of people don't realize, but you need fat to develop muscle. Now, that doesn't mean go out and be like, oh, you know,
No Krispy Kreme is what you're saying.
right, exactly. You want to control that fat that's going into your body. And then the last one are your carbohydrates. Okay, so about 20% of the caloric intake is going to need to be from carbs. Carbs are our fast fuels, okay, because our body has really 4 operating systems on how it uses fuel in the body. The first one gives you about 3 to 5 seconds worth of energy, the creatine phosphate system. And then you go into aerobic and anaerobic glycolysis. Okay? Anaerobic glycolysis is when your body is using that stored carbohydrates inside the muscle to provide energy. Okay? A lot of side effect of that is that lactic acid, that burn you're feeling, because it's not using any oxygen to get rid of that lactic acid. Okay? And then you have aerobic glycolysis, which hits at about glycolysis, which uses oxygen to break down those carbohydrates inside the muscles. Okay? That hits at about 5 minutes. Then you have the final one, which is called oxidative phosphorylation. Big word for a very simple thing. Your body uses oxygen to break down fat molecules for energy. Okay? That when you're doing, you know, cardio, you know how you kind of get that slump and you're like, oh, I really don't feel right?
Yeah.
Kind of around like 4, 5, 6 minutes. That is your body switching energy sources from that aerobic glycolysis to oxidative phosphorylation.
And that's what you want.
Correct.
Okay.
Because that's what's going to burn the fat.
So don't quit, is what he's saying. Now,
Exactly.
hold on. Now, before you move on something else, I know you're not a dietitian, but I wanted to go back on the carb source. I want to talk about that just a little bit. And I don't want to make this video too long, but can you give us some good examples of carbs that you want to eat, maybe pre-workout and post-workout? And I'll give you an example of some of the things that I will eat. So I'll eat, of course, like the whole organic natural breads. I just started trying to mess around with Ezekiel bread. It tastes terrible, but I might have like a sandwich pre-workout, and then maybe about 30 minutes or so before I go to the gym, and then I also have my trip as well, right? And then after I get done, of course everybody preaches like have a protein shake or something like that, but I don't want to talk about protein right now because that's easy to do, right?
Very.
So I tend to have like a sweet potato, or maybe like some brown rice with some meat and like a green fibrous vegetable post-workout. Is that good? Is that what we want to do, or do we want a more fast-acting carbohydrate post-workout?
So there's a couple ways to look at this. Right after a workout is done, your body is most open that it's ever going to be to absorbing nutrition. Okay? That's why it's very important to get that protein shake in within about 30 minutes.
Right.
Okay? That quick protein into the system, boom. But your shakes don't need to be more than 30 grams of protein, because if they're more than 30 grams, your body can't process more than 30 grams from a liquid source. Okay? Now it can process 80 grams of protein from a solid source.
Okay.
But when we're talking about carbohydrates, that within that 30 minutes, you want something fast acting. And the best way to do that is honestly fruit. Right when you get done with that workout, your body's open. You've just used all those glycogen stores, right? That we talked about, that sugar in the muscle. So you're going to take in something that your body can break down very quickly, which is a simple sugar. Fruits are simple sugars. That fructose, boom, right into the system, right into the bloodstream, right into the muscle. So what we're doing is we're replenishing that source. Okay.
Any particular fruit is better than the other?
I prefer going with something like a banana, an apple, maybe kiwi. Okay. Grapes have the highest sugar content of any fruit. I tend to stay away from grapes because they are very high in sugar.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize that, but grapes are the highest. So something that has a little more potassium in it, you know, things that can help like that, which is going to be, like I said, your bananas, your apples, those types of things.
Right.
Now, after that 30-minute window where you're taking in that stuff, we have a second window, which is about 2 hours long. Within that 2 hours, that's when we want to get our solid meals in. And you're perfect in your thinking with sweet potatoes, brown rice, those types of things. Those are our complex carbohydrates, okay? So our body takes longer to break those down, and they provide more of an energy source, okay? So while all that musculature and everything is replenished from the glycogen, now we have those slow digesting carbohydrates that's going to keep the rest of our body moving and functioning. Okay?
Makes sense.
And then that protein that goes in, like I said, your body can take in 80 grams of protein from a solid source.
Okay.
So having a high protein content food is obviously going to help you as well.
Okay. So I'm doing something right. Okay. I think that's all the questions I have for you today. Like I said, I don't want to make this too long because I want everybody to stay around and get all this good content that he's giving you right now, all this good information. So I'm not going to make it too long. Do you have any last tips for us? Anything that you think may be important?
Just make sure that when we're talking about weight loss,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I have a question. Now, I like to do cardio first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Some people say you're not burning any more calories doing that. Is that a myth? Is that good?
so what that is that's a trial and error situation. Everybody is different in how they function, and let me rephrase that. Everybody functions the same way, but you got to find out what works best for you.
Right.
I'm the same way. I cannot do cardio with anything in my stomach. I've got to do fasted cardio. Okay, because I can't do it with something in my stomach. I just don't feel right, and I feel weighted down, and I'm just like,
Well, besides how it makes you feel, do you burn? So what I tell people is I use an example of I just got finished eating, right? Because we're about to lift weights, right? So my thought process is we're gonna lift weights. I need fuel for my body. I need fuel for my muscles. So I'm not really thinking about the cardio so much this morning. The cardio today is just more of me warming my body up.
right.
So that's why I ate something before, because we're gonna do shoulders and back, which is a heavy, hard lifting workout for me. So my thought process is eat something first thing in the morning before I lift to fuel my muscles. On the opposite side, when I'm just doing cardio in the morning, I'm literally waking up, I'm jumping on the treadmill, and I'm walking for 20, 30 minutes. I'm thinking, well, I've been fasting all night, so there's nothing in my system. I didn't just eat anything, so I should be burning the stored fat in my body versus burning what I just literally ate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes perfect sense. But honestly, you're never gonna burn what you just literally ate. Okay, because there's a very long process that has to go through that digestive system for you to actually get that energy source. Okay, so what you're burning is fuel from your body. You're using those glycogen stores and fat cells and things like that inside of your body as an energy source. Okay, so yes, it's going to benefit you to do a fasted cardio. It just is. There's nothing in your system. Your body's going from a state of rest to a state of work. So that's a shock in the system. And whenever we look at weight loss and fat loss and things like that, we always talk about intensity levels and that up down, high intensity, rest period, high intensity, rest period. What you're doing is you're going from a rest period to a high intensity period.
Right.
No matter what you're doing, your body is working. So it's still technically high intensity based on each individual person. I've seen you do cardio in the morning. That's intensity.
Right.
Okay. So yes, it's going to help you burn more calories throughout the day because your body is going to stay at that state of burning because it's still, even though you're done working out, it still has to fuel those muscles that it just worked. Okay. So you're still burning more calories throughout the day by doing that. Yeah.
Okay. You heard it here. I'm right. That's what you say, right?
It's exactly what I'm saying.
All right, guys. This has been a macros video, and I really appreciate my buddy and, like I said, my workout partner, and we work together. So this is gonna be the first and last video that we do for a while because he's shipping off to Romania. He's in the military as well. So, but when he comes back, we're gonna be doing a lot more of these, and we're gonna be getting in the gym, and we're gonna be kicking ass. So I have a year's time to get my abs right and to get jacked and swole before you come back.
Hey, that's all right. I'll be over there too. Maybe we can, do a little celebrity video or something.
Okay, we'll FaceTime or something. We'll figure it out. Okay, guys. Until next time. Peace.